Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm gonna guide you through your very first steps in this beautiful world of Lost Ark. I want you to have the best experience possible when starting the game all the way up until level 50. I want you to know things. I want you to know things that I wish I knew when I started playing the game several years ago. I'm recording this video in April 2021. However, if you're watching it close to the Western release of the game, there's nothing to worry about. Everything that I talk about throughout this guide is going to be up to date for whenever the Western release comes about for us, so you can follow these tips and tricks to help you discover Lost Ark better, get more out of the game. And if you're watching this video as I'm uploading it and you're interested in trying Lost Ark, which by the way is a fabulous idea, the best $5 you have ever spent in your life is on your Exit Log subscription, so you can try the game before it comes out to the West. I have my guides in the description below for Japan, Korea and Russia. These are the three regions where you can play Lost Ark currently. I recommend Russia because there's a lot of English speaking players, and also creating an account is free and you do it your own with your own credentials, phone number, etc. So it's also safe. And before we move into the meat of things, I would like to mention that this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, and I will take this opportunity and say a huge thank you to you who is watching, you who are the star basically of my YouTube channel, for liking me enough to trust that the few things I recommend to you, few other games besides my main one, which is Lost Ark, are actually worth giving a try. And Raid Shadow Legends is one of those examples. They've released recently a brand new faction, and because of that they wanted to highlight that. This looking at the lore of the faction, this one is based around an Eastern vibe, an Asian vibe. So if you're a weeb like myself, you're actually gonna appreciate the artwork. Apparently they are shrouded in mystery, allied with the dwarves, which by the way is another really cool faction in Raid. And they've been under the brutal heel of another faction, the Demon Spawn, for the last several hundred years. This is from their lore. 10 out of 10 fits perfectly in the game. This is how some of the heroes look. And I really like the fact that they're coming up with these creative ideas to freshen up the content and give people that maybe are already collecting everything or have collected everything and maybe bored, something to actually look forward to. On top of the new faction, Raid just passed their 2-year anniversary and the game is bigger and better than ever before. They've just had a month and a half of really awesome events and tournaments, and it keeps on going. This month they've released a new batch of epic and legendary champions for other factions also in the game. They've also released their second version of the Doom Tower, which is their Pride and Beauty dungeon, and that one has new rewards and new gear to farm and so on, and also 2 really awesome bosses. You have my link in the description below, so if you want to use it and give them a try, not only you help me out, but you also get a huge head start, because my link gives you a bunch of goodies. You can also, by the way, scan my QR code if you're watching me right now from my phone, and you'll get your free epic champion. This is a purple quality hero in the game, which really helps you right at the beginning when you start off to finish content and, you know, spend your energy in a nice way winning. His name is Jotun. He's also amazing for the Doom Tower. 100,000 silver, 50 gems and the 3 ancient shards, so you can actually summon other awesome champions, because these shards are ancient, so they give you really good quality champions to play in game. The rewards will be available only for the next 30 days and only for new players. You can find them right here in the top right corner of the main screen of the game, in your account's inbox. Thank you for watching so far. I'm very excited to take a seat. I haven't done a video sitting in a very long time. I decided to split this complete beginner tutorial into 2 parts. Today we're gonna talk about the beginning of your time in the game, when you launch the game right after, as you're leveling up. And then in the second part we're gonna talk about after you've hit level 50. Things that are important then for you to pay attention. We're gonna keep it very simple at a very basic level for all of you who are brand new to the game, maybe brand new to MMORPGs in general. Don't pay attention to how this looks. In the West it's gonna look different. For Russia right now it looks different, and so on. However, you're still going to be greeted by the same screen with 3 buttons. You have enter, close game and game settings. We're gonna go through everything when it's time to go through them. The server selection screen looks like this. You're going to pick a server on which you don't have a character because you're brand new to the game. I'm gonna follow your path here, and we're gonna click enter. In Lost Ark, right after you select the server, you're greeted with the character, the class selection screen, if you may. On the right hand side we have the professions available in Lost Ark, and you are asked to choose one now. Each profession has a number of classes. The profession does not stick with you, but the class does. Upon hitting level 10, you will be asked to choose one option, one class from the profession that you chose right now. So warriors have Berserker, Destroyers, Warlords, and Holy Knights. So if you pick a warrior now, you're going to be a warrior only for your first 10 levels, and then after that you're going to be, for the rest of that character's life, you cannot change your class in Lost Ark, you're going to be one of these 4. There is also a difficulty rating here. This should not be taken very seriously because, for example, warriors have 2 difficulty stars out of 5, magicians have 4 difficulty stars out of 5. Now what this difficulty actually means in Lost Ark is how hard of a life you're gonna have in the game. How hard are you going to be hit? How careful you need to be. It's kind of this difficulty rating more than a mechanical player skill that's needed difficulty rating. So it shouldn't be taken very seriously. If I were to give you a real example for let's take mages, they have Arcana, Summoner and Bard as subclasses. I can tell you that Summoner, even though yes it wears a light armor and yes it gets hit hard if you do get hit, Summoner is not a 4-star difficulty class as you would understand the difficulty rating as a new player, how hard it is to play. Absolutely not. Summoner is a 2-star difficulty class in terms of understanding the class, getting your timings right, getting your skills off, and so on, being at the back of the fight, having the necessary range to, you know, to protect you from harm just because you're wearing light. Warriors get a 2-star difficulty rating. Granted, warriors do have classes that are pretty easy to play in general. However, on top of that, they also wear heavy, and they have some of them, Destroyers, Warlords, Holy Knights, for example, most of them have self-protection skills that, you know, protect them from damage or mitigate damage in one way or another, while, for example, a magician that is playing an Arcana does not really have almost anything to protect him from any harm or to mitigate any damage. Thus, the difficulty rating. Arcana in general, as part of the magician profession, is a class that deserves a 4-star difficulty rating, even if you take the difficulty rating as it should be taken, as in how hard it is to play, because Arcana is a hard class to play, a hard class to do exceptionally well on, to get your timings right, to understand, etc. So this is about the difficulty. Now here, this graph, attack, mobility, defense, support, range, you shouldn't take this very seriously either, and simply because it's given to the profession as a whole. I think they added up Arcana, Summoner and Bard, plus them together, divided them by 3, and this is what rating you get here. For example, an Arcana, when you actually pick the class at level 10, it gives you again the same graph only for the class itself. It has a lot more mobility, right? While Summoner has this kind of a mobility that's shown here in the real game. So again, something that you cannot take seriously right now, but you should take it seriously later on when you actually have a choice in between the 3 or the 4 subclasses for the thing. So let's assume that we're gonna pick a mage. Since we're here, we're gonna click next stage, and here we get to the character selection screen. In Lost Ark, it's important to know that characters cannot be modified from the neck down, so your body cannot be changed. You cannot have larger breasts or a bigger ass, or to be very skinny, or to be a very short lolly character. No such thing in Lost Ark. They wanted to preserve the whole look of the game, so depending on the profession that you pick, you're going to be a bulkier man if you pick a warrior, you're going to be a skinnier dude if you pick a fighter class in male. And the same goes with girls. The magicians are elves, while the fighters, which are also a female gender, are this angry waifus. So it just depends, and the physique also goes according, and their movement, the way they run and so on, is different for every profession in general. But a berserker runs like a destroyer, a summoner runs like an arcana, and so on. Yeah. In terms of face, there are a lot of face customization options, not as many as you would expect in a 2021 or whenever it's going to come out MMORPG, not nearly as in depth as other good character customization games such as Ilion, such as BDO, etc. But there are some. You can be unique, and that's, I guess, what matters the most. Nothing in the cash shop later on that would help you get to be unique, even though that's an opportunity that I personally think they're missing. So there is nothing in the cash shop like in Guild Wars 2 where from the cash shop you can get some really beautiful hair, right? No such thing. We're prompted to name our character, so I'm just gonna name a random name here just so I can get past this. You're also gonna name it, and then after you name it, you get to this particular screen, which is the character selection screen. I'm gonna go through the details of this character selection screen as we see it right here, because there are some important things. Right here there is the song that is playing, this part of the Lost Ark soundtrack. On the right hand side next to it there is the wallpaper. Now these are the background that you see right here, and this is an absolutely genius idea because there is so many beautiful wallpapers that you can collect, and you collect them mostly from achievements or playing the game, if I may call it like that. And some of them are also, for example, event ones. 2019 Halloween. Have you been there? Probably not, because you're watching this video in 2022. So yeah, there are some nice things to acquire. If I would actually swap my character to another server, because everything in Lost Ark is server bound, your accounts experience, your achievements, everything is bound per server, right? All the characters share it in between them on the same server, but this is how it works. So I've swapped servers so I can actually show you a couple of wallpapers. For example, right now I'm using this one, and this is actually one of my favorites. If I would click apply, it would change also the sitting of the characters. Do they stand, you know, heel over knee, or the way they stand, and so on. It's very, very interesting what you can do with them, and very nice to collect them and have many of them. Change location is a button that you can, for example, I can move this battle master right here, or soul master that I have. I can move my soul master all the way here, and my soul master would be sitting down. If I would take this one and just drag it on top of that one and click apply, my soul master would be sitting down, and my lance master would be actually standing. So it depends how you want your many characters to look like. Other than that, here we have game settings. This is a button that I will actually click and take you through a couple of really basic settings from the beginning. You have your video settings. This depends on your PC, how much it can handle, and so on. This is something that I wanted to talk right from the get-go. So if you would notice that we are seeing here a little bit half the stairs, right? And on the other side of the screen, you notice that we're seeing all the way up until this particular bigger rock that is on top. Now if I would force 21:9 aspect ratio and apply them, this is the rock that we were seeing right here. Look how much more you get to see extra if you play this particular resolution. And here, from this particular line which we were seeing, there is a whole nother world right here. This setting is very important for people who like to play PvP, let's say, in a more of a competitive way. Everyone that plays PvP and really wants to try hard at it plays 21:9 just because it opens up the map a lot more than people who do not have this setting enabled have it. So if you're gonna get to play PvP eventually in the game, and you're wondering how that infighter saw you and landed a skill straight on top of you from a place where you didn't see him, then this is how, because you get to see a lot more. The top and bottom are not cropped, let's say, so you would think that you lose from top and bottom and you win from the sides. No, they're just shrank. So because of that, you don't lose anything, but you gain a lot more left and right. And in the arena, which is a circle, gaining left and right is a huge asset. This is the only thing that I wanted actually to mention from here. In terms of audio settings, you have also play sounds in backgrounds, so you can alt tab and do your work or whatever, Raid Shadow Legends, and then just hear when a pop when a queue pop comes about. Yeah, you have a button to delete the character, rename the character, customize the appearance of the character. For these two you need tickets to have been purchased already in the game or on the website from the shop. You have a button here called jump growth, which I don't think we're gonna get straight from the get-go in the Western release, but we are going to have it eventually. This just boosts your character to level 50. It's very popular in Lost Ark because they always are adding classes, and to go through the boring leveling experience 25 times just to make enough alts or just to try every single class, this is a lovely button. Yeah, we have also 3 sets of character slots. For example, I'm on my first one, there's 6 characters here. On my second one I have 1 character, this one. However, I could expand, I could open up another 6 slots. If I would just click on them, I would need a ticket to open them up. And then there's a third page, a third set on the same server, to be noted, of characters that can be used here with character expansion slots. This is very important for 2 reasons in Lost Ark. Reason number 1 is, as I've mentioned, there's a lot of new classes that are always added, so 6 is definitely not enough. I think right now we're somewhere at 18 classes here in Korea at the moment of this video, with many more to come. And the second reason is that alts in Lost Ark are a very good way for a completely free-to-play player to keep up with a guy that deposits extra money, real money, in the game. So having more alts, more characters, 6 is absolutely, definitely not enough to, let's say, to be rich with gold and riches in the game. So, you know, you need more than that. So that's why the extra space for a character, but mostly because of people wanting to try every single class. In Lost Ark, same as every other MMORPG, every class is a different experience. But the difference, the big difference in between Lost Ark and other MMORPGs is the fact that you that have played a rogue for all of your life in World of Warcraft or wherever, you come to Lost Ark and you might as well be a Hawkeye, because the classes are somehow so nicely made that you're not going to be a rogue here. Also, you're gonna wanna try other classes, and you're gonna find other classes that fit you as a person. It's lovely. And here we have a button to go back to the server select. This one right here, I'm not quite sure if we're gonna get it in the West. This is the, let's say, the character that represents your account. Here in Korea they connect this with some website things. I'm again unsure if we're gonna get it in the West, but this we're gonna get for sure. This is the account level. The more you play the game, the more you do things, anything in the game, from quests to killing mobs to dungeons, etc., achievements, you get account experience. This account experience, I'm gonna show it to you a little bit later when we get into the game, but this account experience helps you to gain various perks, including wallpapers that we talked about, and also actually real character stats that have an impact in your PvE side of things in Lost Ark. So the more you play the game, the more you're gonna get these stats. Nothing game breaking, but still something that if you're at the max account level, it's actually gonna be you're gonna feel a difference there. Assuming you picked your class and finished your tutorial, here is the place where you're gonna finally meet with your friends in Leonhardt. This is the first town where every single profession is together, and from here onwards, which is level 10 onwards, you will be able to play together and explore the beautiful world of Lost Ark with whoever you have started the game with, if you have someone. The first thing you might actually notice that's different from your other MMORPGs is the camera view. This camera view cannot be changed. You always control your characters walking by using the mouse, either the left or the right mouse button to click and move, or just hold and move. However, Lost Ark is a complete MMORPG with all of the features from normal MMORPGs that you would expect, like Aeon, Terra, Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft. The only thing that's different in Lost Ark is the view of the world, the perspective that you're having. Everything else is as you would expect from MMORPGs. Now here in Leonhardt, I have a low-level character that I would like to explain you a couple of things, go through the menus. First and foremost, your skills right here. Your skills, if you press K on the keyboard, then you have your skill menu, and then every skill that you want to try and use, you can just click, drag, and just place it here on your bar. Inside towns, you cannot use skills nor auto attack, so if you want to try out looks of the skills, you have to be in any other place outside big towns or towns in general. Now these skills can be customized with skill points, as you can see from here. The more skill points you have, the more points you can assign in the skill, and not only it improves the tooltip damage, but it also gives you the opportunity to, at specific levels 4, 7 and 10, select different perks for that particular skill. This is an interesting system that makes you even be able to completely change some skills, the way they look and the things that they do as well. So it's very interesting to get these points. Points you get by leveling up, first of all, and the rest, which are very important at the end game of end games, from skill point potions. Every class has access to 8 skills at one time on your bar, and 8 only. Eventually, upon hitting level 40 throughout your leveling process, you will have access to even the last skill. After level 40, you will be getting more skills, 2, 3 to be precise, but that comes at level 50 when you get another slot opened up right here, which is your awakening skill. There are a couple of awakening skills to be acquired. In the awakening skill slot, which I don't have as this is a level 20 something character, in the awakening skill slot that's gonna open up as you hit 50, you can only socket awakening skills. In these slots right here, you can only socket these skills that you see right now here, and then every single class has in the middle a special skill, an innate skill, something that is very specific to the class itself. So if you're playing a summoner, you're gonna have a different innate skill than a guy who's playing an arcana, and so on. Here on the right hand side you have 4 slots for battle items. In Lost Ark they are consumables that are used generally 99% only inside raiding. So because of that, you have a special designated slots for them. Depends on which raid you do. You equip yourself from the bag again. You just click and drag a consumable or a battle item that you want to use in that raid to a specific bar, and you have a keybind to it. Potions are also a thing in Lost Ark. I recommend you to just spam these potions as you're leveling up. There's no shame in it. You can again click them from your bag and just drag them to a keybind in the top bar of things. There is a different type of potion as well, which is counted as a battle item. This one right here, for example, and these ones heal percentage while these ones heal an amount. These ones can be used in raids, and they are the only type of potions that can be used in raids. Of course, not this white quality. There's green, there's blue, there's purple that heal more and more percent. But you cannot use these in raids, so don't stack them up, don't keep them, they're worth nothing. Just make sure you don't die through your leveling process. It's better not to die and to use feathers of resurrection or diamonds to rest up on the spot, or even worse, come back all the way from a teleportation spot, than to use these potions that you won't care about later on. In terms of selling items or junk items that you get in your bag, there is not much need to sell them. You can just click this button and just disenchant everything. On the bottom left side you have your character's level, your actual level, and then you have your expedition level, which is the account level, that one that I was talking about, the achievements and all sorts of things. Now since I was talking about expedition, let me just open the menu for the expedition level to just quickly guide you through. I told you it gives you basic stats that are very useful for your character, right? You have them right here. The more you have, you can see that at specific levels you get strength, dexterity, intelligence, all characters HP, and so on. There's a little bit of HP, but you know, eventually when you hit a very high level of this particular thing, it's gonna matter, right? Right here you have the chat, as you would expect, and then on the top you have a few buttons. I'm not gonna go through all of them, you can discover them yourself. A very important one is this one right here, which is called the locker. It contains all of your currencies and tokens that you have acquired. So whenever you're looking to see how much of that currency you have, you can just open this crate right here. This is an important thing, and you can also have a couple of them selected to keep track of how much you have. The minimap is something that's very interesting. On the top of the minimap, I wanted to mention that there are channels. Right now, in my particular case in this town, there is only one. However, as you're leveling up, there's going to be very many, probably all of the maps where there's going to be a lot of channels, 16, 20 channels. Now, it's important to know that there are channels in case you get lost or disconnected from your friend and you want to find each other again. And also, not to mention the fact that on different channels, mobs have different spawn times, right? So if mobs are being highly farmed on one channel or a boss or whatnot, then you can just simply swap the channels and farm the boss, the mob, and get your quest done and move on a different channel. They are marked with a dot here. The green means there's few people on it, and then there's yellow, and then there's red. Red means full, yellow means there's quite a lot of people. So you should look excuse me, for channels that have a green dot. Other than that, the minimap also comes accompanied by this particular transparent map, which is very important. I have it bound on a key. You can find it in the game settings, which we're going to go through, by the way, in a moment. And this is a map that you can just go on and off. It shows you every detail on the map, including collectibles, for example, NPCs, quest locations, etc. There is obviously also a world map, which is available in every MMORPG. You should actually get acquainted with the world map because it's important. You're going to use it a lot. For example, if you're in a place and you want to teleport from this particular map to somewhere else, you cannot teleport to the obelisk by clicking on the transparent map or on the mini-map itself. You actually have to open the world map and then just click it, confirm, and it's going to teleport you there. Under the minimap, we also have this particular thing, which is an important thing. You have here a set of widgets that you can add or remove from underneath your minimap. For example, if I don't want the selfie mode, I'm not a guy who likes to take selfies in the game or capture beautiful scenery from within Lost Ark, I'm just going to click the minus, remove it, and I'm going to add, for example, the proof of battle, which is the PvP queue. Now I have modified my widgets here. I cannot queue up for this, but you can normally in Lost Ark. When you hit level 50, this is because this is a level 20 character, when you hit 50 you can queue up for PvP very easily by just customizing your widget, adding the PvP thing here. Eventually in time there's going to be more widgets to customize this with, and this is really important. You can have other things here as well. Quest tracker is here on the right hand side. As you are leveling up and as you are at the beginning, you will have yellow quests, purple quests, which are all very important. Every single quest in Lost Ark is really important for one reason or the other. However, the way you level up the fastest, let's say, is by following the story. The story up until level 35-ish looks like this. There are these orange looking quests. And then after level 35, these orange quests stop and you continue doing light blue quests. On the right hand side here you have the quest tracker, and if you click the name of the quest, it opens up the actual menu. You can just press J on your keyboard to open it up. You have in progress, completed quests, and guides. Now in progress are the quests that you're currently doing, completed is what you've done, and the guides, these purple quests, are very important because they teach you the utmost basics of important things in Lost Ark. Right now at low level it's gathering mostly, but then when you hit 50 you're gonna have a lot of these purple quests. Also, as you're leveling up, when you first encounter the sea and water content, you're gonna have purple quests related to the sea and water content. The main point of leveling up and the thing that people do the most is just focus on these orange quests up until they leave this first continent, and then afterwards when you're on the sea you can start doing all of the yellow quests here, all of the yellow quests here, and then you get eventually to this particular place. You pass through Tortio Corso, by the way, and then you get to this particular place when you're gonna actually hit 50. Yellow quests can be skipped in this first area right here. However, here and here you should do them, because otherwise you're gonna hit this place where you kind of need to be 50 in order to continue with your questing, and if you don't do any yellow quests at all, you're gonna be 49 and a half. Definitely everything in Lost Ark in terms of questing should be done. It's up to you if you do them as you go or not. On top of that, there's also collectibles in Lost Ark. If we are to actually pass on to this menu with collectibles, you have here a button called collectibles, and there's a lot of different collectibles that you can actually gather. These you can also wait until you're 50 and then come back every day on a daily basis and gather all these Mokoko seeds or all these masterpieces or etc. Some things are only opened after you're 50, like this, but just saying, the Mokoko seeds, you can gather them throughout the world. As you can see, there's many here also, or you can leave them for level 50 and come back for them. I'm not gonna go through all of these are some of them very straightforward. You can discover them by yourself, the titles, your achievements, your card book system, and so on. Life skill, this is gathering. Combat skill, this is the skills. So I want to point out the settings button, and I want to go with you through a couple of interesting things. In gameplay, in the show section, you have here an option called apply battle outline, and what this does is I'm going to move to a place where I can actually use my skills. Around your character, as you can see right now, there's the beautiful shape of your armor and your hair and the colors that are part of your armor and your hair, etc. However, in Lost Ark, if you're in a big fight or an open or a world boss fight, a raid, even a dungeon, it gets confusing if you do not have this particular battle outline. As you can see, the second I started using my auto attack, I'm getting this white glow around me, and I'm keeping it as I'm moving, and it's really cool to spot your character when there's many characters fighting and every character has like big skills that they do, and you know, sometimes it's a little bit confusing to see where you are, and this is a nice option that you have here in the settings. Also in the gameplay show section, you have the mouse. As you can see, the cursor, mine is pink and it's made really large. This is something that stays, these whole settings in the show is something that stays throughout your character, so you don't have to, throughout your account, you don't have to change them. You can have the basic cursor looks like this. It's the basic cursor, and it's a normal size, and it looks like this. This is quite confusing. As you can see, even here it kind of gets a little bit lost, and you know, you don't see where it is. You can change that and apply the color that sticks out the most to your eyes by here using, for example, a yellow cursor, and you have it maximum size, and you can have it really large, and you can see where you pinpoint your skills, because it's important in Lost Ark to see where your mouse is when where you throw things around. Yeah, these are the two settings that I wanted to talk about here. In terms of gamepad, Lost Ark also has an option to play the game through a controller. They only allow Xbox controllers, so in case you're watching this video before the actual release for the West and you have a PS4 controller, you might as well go ahead and buy an Xbox controller so you can play Lost Ark with the controller. Here you have also presets, by the way. If you have 4 presets in total, they're all for free. You don't have to pay anything for them, and if you click preset number 2, it changes both the top line and the bottom line. On the top line, you can also add, for example, your mounts. There is also pets and mounts here, very important, and you can add your mounts, which are, by the way, server account wide. So on the same server, all the characters that have these mounts are going to be able to use them regardless of their level. If you have a level 50 and then you're leveling level 20 character, that character, the lobby character, can use every mount that your level 50 has purchased, for example, for the cash shop or whatnot. You can add mounts here. This is a nice thing to do, something to have in a quick access. Very important to talk about also music. Songs are used for a variety of things in Lost Ark. For example, this one you get really fast early on. You use it to exit dungeons. Eventually you're going to use it to exit everything, every instanced place besides PvP. You're going to use this one to exit instead of going to the portal and walking through it, right? Other songs take you to your house. They are used for questing, affinity, to get acquainted with various NPCs around the world, and then we have songs that actually open up secret places in the world of Lost Ark, so that you can eventually go and collect Mokoko seeds from those places and so on. Very nice, very interesting and important menu. This was everything that I wanted to talk about at a first glance for a complete beginner, your very first 2 steps in the world of Lost Ark. Everything that you should kind of keep in mind. At level 50 come other things that pop around your screen that I would like to talk about. So I wish you a pleasant leveling experience, and I'm gonna see you once you hit level 50. I will have another video, part 2 of this, in which I will cover everything else that I would like a brand new player to Lost Ark that has just leveled up and watched this video of mine to know about the game, and to give you just a direction, a heading, if you may, in the game, so you can have a clear overview of your choices, and then you can choose yourself which path you take. I wish you lots of love. Thank you for watching this video, and I'm gonna see you really soon. Take care.